Good morning. I'm Diana Dibble, Vice President of Integrated Marketing Communications for American Dairy Association Northeast. On behalf of our organization, the Pennsylvania Dairy Promotion Program, the Pennsylvania Department of Agriculture, and the Dairy Farm Families of Pennsylvania, welcome to the official unveiling of the 2024 Butter Sculpture. This is the 33rd buttery masterpiece that will entertain the crowds here at the Pennsylvania Farm Show. In just a moment, you'll hear from our special guests joining me here at the podium, including the Secretary of Agriculture, Russell Redding. Also in the crowd, I'd like to acknowledge CEO of American Dairy Association Northeast, John Chrisman. From the Land O'Lakes Carlisle plant, we have Chad Fogelsanger, Lori Furman, Joe Parson, Amanda Reif, Holly Walter, and Ann Walters-Cool. Thank you for your donation of butter. Our Land O'Lakes team is off to the side. We have our Pennsylvania Dairy Princesses, State Princess Alexis Butler and alternates Emily Wright and Mackenzie Thomas. Representatives from 4-H State Council and FFA America, Future Farmers of America state officers, as well as the Center for Dairy Excellence. I'd also like to thank our partners at the Department of Agriculture and the Farm Show team on site here for all of their support. After remarks, we'll unveil the sculpture and have plenty of time for photos and interviews. It is now my pleasure to introduce dairy farmer Walt Moore to speak on behalf of the state's dairy farmers. Walt owns and operates Walmore Holsteins in Cochranville, Chester County. For the past 30 years, Walt has developed a passionate team of employees that cares for the herd of over 1,000 cows, along with managing 1,800 acres of cropland. The Centennial Farm is always looking for ways to improve, from new animal husbandry techniques to conservation efforts. Walt has led the way in environmental stewardship on and around the farm. Walt?
Thank you, Diana, and good morning. Pleasure to be here and be here on behalf of the Pennsylvania dairy farmers. We're here today to present an important work of art, right? Two renowned artists from Pennsylvania took locally made butter produced by Commonwealth dairy farmers like me to create a beautiful sculpture. Talk about meaningful community connections. This amazing showcase of agriculture will grace these halls for the entirety of the farm show, a symbol that has for more than 3 decades shown the incredible partnership between Pennsylvania's dairy farmers and the PA Department of Agriculture. Every year, the butter sculpture provides us with a creative opportunity to tell our story. Like most dairy farms in the Commonwealth, Walmore Holsteins has deep connections to its community. My family started back in 1909 in Chester County, and I am the 4th generation to work the land. Our farm has been part of the Land O'Lakes cooperative system for over 100 years. We care deeply about providing wholesome food to our community, and we're deeply committed to progress. That is why we implement the latest technology and conservation practices. It is my great honor to farm in a way that reduces carbon, protects local waterways, and offers the best care for our cows. I would like to thank our sculptors, Jim Victor and his wife, Marie Pelton, for the 14 days of hard work that they put behind this year's sculpture. Your dedication and artistry are truly appreciated. Wow. I'd also like to recognize Land O'Lakes for donating more than 1,000 pounds of butter for this sculpture. Thank you for your continued support. And I'd also like to thank my peers, the other 5,000 dairy farmers in Pennsylvania who work hard to feed our community and protect our planet. Thank you. We all appreciate you. Thank you for having me today, Diana.
Thank you, Walt. More than 1,000 pounds of butter were used for this year's sculpture, and here to talk about the work, which, as Walt mentioned, included 14 days inside the butter booth, are the talented sculptors and husband and wife Jim Victor and Marie Pelton of Montgomery County.
Yeah, thank you, Diana. We're pleased to be part of the 33rd butter sculpture here at the Pennsylvania Farm Show. It always gets a lot of attention and it has a lot of entertainment value for everybody. But it tells an important story also about agriculture, pays tribute to the hardworking dairy farmers of Pennsylvania. This art that we created is an important spotlight on the farmers and the dairy products produced right here in the Commonwealth, Pennsylvania. That is very meaningful for us, for we pride ourselves on bringing a theme to life in the form of a sculpture. And this year's theme, Table for All, Pennsylvania Dairy Connects Communities, is particularly meaningful in that we make connections through art and the food that the farmers produce for all of us. The sculpture was created with 1,000 pounds of butter donated by Land O'Lakes. Thanks to their generosity, we were able to create this butter sculpture, which will be viewed by thousands of people here at the farm show. And after the farm show, the butter won't go to waste. It'll be reprocessed. It's going to be recycled at Rhineford Farms in Juniata, where it'll be turned into energy. It's an honor to be part of the tradition every year, and we couldn't do it without the support of the Pennsylvania Department of Agriculture and also the American Dairy Association Northeast. And thank you for having us. And
yeah, I just wanted to say also that it's Jim and I's 22nd year consecutively working together, producing or creating the butter sculpture for the Pennsylvania Farm Show, and it's always an honor for us to return year after year to be part of this very heartfelt tradition. Here at the farm show. So thank you very much, and we hope you enjoy it.
yeah, also just wanted to say one thing about the wonderful help we get here at the farm show. JR and his crew has been fantastic, and thank you to them. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jim and Marie. Now please welcome the 26th Secretary of Agriculture for the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, Russell Redding.
Hey, Diana, thank you. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the 108th Pennsylvania Farm Show. Honored to be with you today. I always feel like when I follow Victor and Marie that they're so humble about what they do, right? To spend 14 days in that case, right? Think about it. So fairly tight quarters, taking this concept that's envisioned many months ago and bringing it to life is not an easy thing to do. So I am anxious as you to see today's, this year's butter sculpture, but just a note of thanks to Jim and Marie for the 14 days, but also the 22 years that they've dedicated to our butter sculpture here in Pennsylvania. So thank you. As I look around, also important to say thank you. I mean, I can say a lot of things, and my staff has heard me many times do this, but when I stand still long enough and look at the folks who are part of this industry or part of this farm show, who make this moment possible, who make this year and the work that we do in agriculture possible, recognizing that for 108 years we have celebrated agriculture in this Commonwealth is really a humbling moment. I mean, who else gets a chance to do this? What other sectors do we pause for a week and bring folks together from around the state and the nation to recognize a really important and valuable part of our state's economy and the community? That is agriculture. That is what we get a chance to do. So thank you. And particularly to the dairy farmers and all farmers of Pennsylvania, it is a proud day that we stand with you any day. Appreciate what you do day in and day out. We honor the work that you do this week, but recognize that work all year long. That we can't arrive here and celebrate it without knowing it's in good hands every other day, right? Every other day of the week throughout the year, so thank you. As Walt Moore was speaking, I read a little clip when he was recognized as the distinguished dairy producer last year that I think you were 6 years old, Walt, if the story is true, that he told his mom and dad he was coming back to the farm once he was done with Penn State to farm, and here we have him today, right? 5 years later. Just a couple of years later. But I think it's a really nice story of commitment and the vision, and Walt, and I know his family well. If you travel Route 41, you know the farm well. You see the stewardship of that land and the work that they do. And it's really impressive. And when Walt talks about how they give back to their community, they do it in so many ways. Part of it is the leadership, as many of our dairy producers and farm families do, but also just in the awareness and the engagement and the concern for folks who are around them, both as neighbors and workers and then of course in the food products that are produced. So to Walt Moore and his family and all the dairy producers of Pennsylvania, thank you for what you do. As was noted, we have a theme this year, connecting our communities. And we really like it for many reasons, right? We think it's an accurate description of what it is that we do and how we're connected. Sometimes we're busy and don't always acknowledge that or are as aware as we'd like, but we understand that our success is connected to that community. And that'll be celebrated through this week. It is a theme that captures the intricate ties and those relationships and the interdependence that is so critical to Pennsylvania and a functioning society, quite frankly, but also to our industry and the Pennsylvania communities. As Victor noted, this butter sculpture embodies this in the theme that the Dairy Association has here, the Table for All, and Pennsylvania Dairy Connects consumers. And we'll see the representation of that in a very visual way in just a moment. But through these connections, we share the stories of who we are, our hope in the future, our reverence of the past, strengthening the bonds that transcend zip codes and town limits. From the farmers markets to the fairs to the farms themselves and the opportunities that we are presented throughout the year to visit these farms and to see firsthand what they do, to see their pride and to be part of that community is important. But all of that comes together here at the Pennsylvania Farm Show. There's not a better place to see that connectedness than right here. But the other reason to celebrate is not just because we have a show. It is an incredibly important industry, right? That is the pride that we get a chance to exhibit. This is part of the way of life here in Pennsylvania. We're proud of agriculture wherever it is, in our urban centers, in the deepest parts of our cities, in the rural landscapes of Pennsylvania. But it's also a business, and that's a piece that we want everybody to see this week, that it is part of what we do in the state. It's a business without walls, but every bit of business. That economic stability that we bring to our communities, providing the jobs that are so important to all of us, and that happens from the fields to the forest to the food processing to a Land O'Lakes plant, which we were privileged to be in several weeks ago. It is amazing. But it also is about the connection to the land. We're connected in other ways. Food, jobs, and the land is a critical part of that. It's about nourishing our communities, enriching our relationships, and strengthening Pennsylvania. That, in summary, is what the dairy industry does in Pennsylvania. It brings us together. It is the $14 billion industry that we recognized here today and captured in this theme. It's the 53,000 jobs, but most important, it is the 5,000 farm families that every day get up and hustle, make this work, give us the privileges of eating 3 times a day and all the great products. And then all of those other extended connections to the community that they provide, right? Almost free of charge. It's what they do in their work. So thank you to the dairy industry, the dairy producers of PA, and thank you for connecting our communities. Thank you.
Thank you, Secretary Redding. Don't go too far because now it's time. I'd like to invite Secretary Redding, Walt, Jim, Victor, Marie Pelton, and Alexis to come forward, and we will do the unveiling. Ready?
Ready? Door number 1. Down here.
Pennsylvania Dairy Connects Communities highlights the important connection between farmers and their local communities and how the wholesome food they produce brings people together. The sculpture illustrates members of the community gathering around the dinner table, connecting through a delicious bounty of food, all against the backdrop of a cityscape and a farm skyline. It reflects the 2024 Pennsylvania Farm Show theme, Connecting Our Communities, and celebrates the 20th anniversary of PA Preferred, Pennsylvania's statewide brand for locally grown and made agriculture products. And thank you for attending the unveiling of the 2024 Pennsylvania Farm Show butter sculpture. Connects communities, highlights the important connection between farmers and their local communities and how the wholesome food they produce brings people together. The sculpture illustrates members of the community gathering around the dinner table, connecting through a delicious bounty of food, all against the backdrop of a cityscape and a farm skyline. It reflects the 2024 Pennsylvania Farm Show theme, Connecting Our Communities, and celebrates the 20th anniversary of PA Preferred, Pennsylvania's statewide brand for locally grown and made agriculture products. Thank you for attending the unveiling of the 2024 Pennsylvania Farm Show butter sculpture.